I think what he will be doing today, I've not met him this morning, but I think what he'll be doing today is having a one-on-one with components of the Executive Council of the party. And I can almost bet that he will share his ideas, also hear what they have to do. Then by tomorrow, trust me, a strategic game plan is going to be unleashed on not just the coalition, but any other political party that seems to have the impression that they can stand in the way of the APC. Nentawe is not here to play, and the Nentawe that I know is going to have a smooth sail over the most staunchest of oppositions.
But critics say he's not politically experienced. Well, an excellent professor, ICT, he did well at INEC and all of that. They say he's a paperweight when it comes to politics.
And again, I think that is where the masterstroke of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, comes into play. He tends to get those who are underestimated, those who do not have targets on their back. And Mr. Nentawe, Professor Nentawe, Dr. Nentawe, whichever you want to pick, fits into that mold. It's so beautiful that those who think he's a paperweight are still having that illusion. But trust me, another 1 month down the road, they're going to realize that they really miscalculated the man. And before then, it's going to be a bit too late.
Okay, you know, talking about being too late, another issue on the front burner at the moment is unity and cohesion, you know, across the country. And a lot of people think that, you know, the political space seems to be causing the division. Do you think that this new leadership will do so much in terms of ensuring that the country remains united, you know, irrespective of party or whatever, you know, affiliations that individuals or states could be inclined to?
Yes, I totally hold on to that. But then, let me even start from the political party front. The APC, with the emergence of Professor Nentawe yesterday, has been able to balance, you know, political offices to ensure that the entire geopolitical space of Nigeria is carried along. Before the emergence of this current administration, it was a given that the north-central geopolitical zone of the country was going to produce the chairman. Of course, we had the former governor of Nasarawa State, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, holding forth for a year plus. Then the chairmanship went down to the northwest. So for Nentawe to come back as a native or a component of the north-central zone, it is correcting that seeming imbalance that had existed before then. So again, if the APC is conscious enough to ensure that there's inclusivity in the polity, even in party administration, they can be rest assured that the APC also holds this inclusivity of the nation very dear to its heart. We are a party that are out to ensure that no part of Nigeria feels isolated or left out. And again, beyond even the geographical space, we also ensure that the youth, the wider demography, the youth, the women, the old, everybody has a space and a voice and a seat on the table in the APC. We know that if we do that, starting from the micro, you know, the APC as a micro unit of the larger country, will be able to easily push this out to the country. And at the end of the day, Nigeria will be better for it, because everybody is going to have space, everybody's going to have a voice, everybody's going to have a chance to do and act the way God has granted them the capacity to do.
His, you know, selection seems to appease his zone, the zone where he comes from, because they had that position, they lost it, and now they have it back. That's balance at some level. But how do you think he should go about addressing the divisions down the line, you know, appeasing party faithful, and then your APC is reaping bountiful harvest at the moment? You do know as a politician, yes, that once we approach 2027, the pie becomes small. You can't accommodate everybody. Everybody can't get a ticket. And then some people might want to leave. How do you think it should manage the party going into the 2027 election?
Well, to the first prong of your question, the North Central Zone is truly, truly happy, and I'm sure there's also solidarity across the zones, because they know and they believe truly that this was for the North Central Zone. So that aside, everybody, or a larger chunk of the population and party faithfuls are comfortable and are happy that the North Central has been given this position. And going forward, I mean, of course, this wouldn't be the first time you're having a ruling party that is reaping from the misfortune of the opposition or smaller parties, in quote. It happened before now. And again, I'm using this opportunity to remind Nigerians that the so-called narrative or fear about a one-party state wouldn't ever happen in Nigeria. We've been there before, and it never became a one-party state. So whatever the APC is benefiting from now, we're very happy, and it is one of the assignments that the new chairman has to ensure that regardless of the size of the pie, everybody gets it. You know, there's a very popular house saying that instead of having nothing at all, it's better to have something that is small, no matter how small it is. And I'm sure with his pragmatic leadership, with his ability to be a man manager, and of course he's proven over time that he's a very good man manager and a manager of all the resources, I'm sure he'll be able to find a way of ensuring that bits and pieces of the pie goes to everybody who is a true and a bona fide member of the APC and a true and a bona fide Nigerian who is desirous of development and progress, as currently being, you know, pushed out by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and of course the APC.
You call him a good manager, and you know, some are wondering if you think he'll be able to manage those, if you like, the founding fathers of the APC who have been there since inception. I mean, looking at the political history of the APC chairman, of course, you know, when he joined the APC, do you think he will be able to manage effectively those big weights in the APC? Or are we going to be hearing all kinds of voices? I mean, would there be unity, you know, or rather, would there be one voice, you know, coming from the chairman, of course, in all of this? Or you think that those other people who have been in the background, who are the big weights in the party, would still continue to air their views and have their way?
For us in the APC, I'll say we've been blessed with a responsible older generation who over time realize that they have imbibed in us, the younger elements, qualities, and they've tutored us enough in ways that we can take over from them as the next generation. And again, a blessing. They have not seen any reason why they would not be happy to relinquish power to the younger generation. So our leaders, our elders, the older generation and the APC, the founding fathers, as you call them, don't have any issue with having a young person as Nentawe. And of course, Professor Nentawe is also somebody who was properly raised, and he knows the value of elders and he knows the place of elders. He is going to be engaging them and consulting them over broad-based issues and ensuring that their input is sorted for when there's a need for that. And the elders too wouldn't want a Professor Nentawe running to them every day, because he's also supposed to demonstrate capacity that he has learned. From their knees, and he's also going to be implementing that. So unlike other political parties where you find founding members, I mean founding fathers calling for conferences, trying to chastise their younger elements, you know, publicly, like we saw 2-3 days ago, in the APC we do not have that misfortune. Our founding fathers have been light bearers for us, they've been torch bearers for us, they've been leading the way, and I think they know we've grown to a degree where we can also crawl along on our own without really bugging them. They're supposed to enjoy their old age, and we're going to ensure that their old age is lived in peace and harmony.
Now, I suppose that question stems from the fact that Nentawe Yilwatda is the first substantive national chairman of the APC that hasn't been a governor, you know, which comes with clouds. You have followership, you have all of that. That's why there is that worry, skepticism here and there that, oh, will this man be able to control governors, senators, the big wigs in the political party? But what policy shift do you think he can bring about to redirect the party, perhaps to where every member has a say and not just for the big wigs?
Again, this myth about certain positions being exclusive reserves of certain privileged clubs has been debunked over time, most especially in the APC. We've had first that were not certain things in the past. But then back to your question, inclusivity. Nentawe is going to ensure that everybody has a space to say what he or she has to say. And if you look at him, his body language, his calm, his composed, his warm personality is such that nobody will just willingly, nobody will just want to rock any boat that Nentawe is a captain of. Like I said, our leaders, sundry components of the party are going to be engaged at whatever level, and everyone is going to be listened to. The voice of reason is going to prevail over each and every interaction or engagement, because at the end of the day, it goes beyond a Professor Nentawe. It is Nigeria that we're talking about. It is the survival of APC we're talking about. It is ensuring that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, is being marshaled from the party front. It is everything. And if you truly are a member of the APC, then you wouldn't even want to ask yourself, where is this man coming from? So long as he's giving us that leadership that we require, that leadership that's going to take us from where we are to the better place that we are.
What would be the most urgent challenge before Nentawe Yilwatda?
Aggregating thoughts and opinions of people, most especially critical stakeholders in the party, be it at geopolitical zones, or be it at state level, or even be it at the National Working Committee, National Executive Committee level, to see and to hear what the issues were before he came into being as chairman, and collectively agree on an approach. But the most important thing, like I keep saying, he is going to aggregate the thoughts and opinions of the vast mass of our people, members of the APC.
All right. So as we round up this conversation, a lot of people talk about political parties losing their ideologies, just running, in any way they want, and all of that, and doing what they want. Do you think he's a professor? With vast experience, really. Do you see that party ideology? Do you see some form of sanity, returning to the political space, especially in the APC, with him in the helms of affairs?
Yes, he's one who is big on institutional reforms. And that is why I kept hammering on the fact that he's going to aggregate thoughts and opinions, so that at the end of the day, whatever is a product of those sessions, it's going to be forged. It's going to be pressed and forged, so that we will have a semblance of an ideology. Because, truth be told, a lot of political parties in Nigeria over time, you're lost as to which political party holds which idea. But again, we have a president who, as a leader of the party, has been identified with certain principles and policies, and I'm sure that is going to be brought to bear on the party. And with Nentawe, also a data-driven and a pragmatic leader, I'm sure that by the end of his tenure, a real and a clear-cut ideological identity is going to be forged for the APC, and we intend to continue there. From there going forward.
What does this say for the young people in the APC? His emergence as the party chairman.
It is a confident move. It's something that gives us so much confidence that finally, a young person has been able to cut his teeth and be given that which is deserving. I've always said that it's morally repugnant and a sin to God that a majority of the components of a political party don't always get given that which they deserve. The youth or the younger people in the APC constitute more than 70%. So over time, this is what we've been clamoring for, and I'm sure at the end of the day, we're not going to regret it. It is a very, very good thing to happen to the younger elements in the political space.
Now, some say that the APC is suffering from an identity crisis over time, maybe because of the way the party emerged. And do you think that this new leadership offers an opportunity at a redefinition or merely a rebranding?
Well, again, for those who want to say the APC suffers from ideological distinction, identity crisis. Well, a beautiful bride, she attracts all sorts. But the most important thing is that she never loses her soul regardless of the number of people that come over to her. So for us in the APC, maybe an identity crisis for those who are from the outside, but as foundation members of the APC, people who were part of the legacy parties that from the APC, we have not lost our identity. We probably have newcomers, but again, give them a few moments, give them a few months, they will always, shed off whatever identity they're coming with and be influenced by the legacy identity of the AP. So we do not have an identity crisis. Maybe the coalition colluders, probably the coalition colluders, maybe, but not we in the APC.
Your final words, to Nigerians, and then of course the party faithful. Where do you see the APC in 2027? Waxing stronger and stronger. I see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu being re-elected. I see us coming in with even more governors, more seats in the National Assemblies. the National Assembly and even the state assemblies. I see more Nigerians beginning to reap the fruits of the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. All right. Many thanks, Honorable Daniel Dung Dalyop, former Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Plateau State. It was a pleasure to have you, and many thanks for your insights. We hope that, like you said, the party actually becomes stronger. Thank you very much for having me. All right, so that's our package on Good Morning Nigeria this Friday. It's been interesting. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Join us next week. I'm Yen Ray John.
And I'm Victor. As you enjoy your weekend, have a great day.